right, let me ring the bell. Thank you and welcome to the Thursday, September 10th meeting of the Irving Lost Cleaners Rotary Club. If you'll stand with me, our prayer today will be led by Reverend Shane Webb, our pledge by Dr. Jose Parra. Neil and Sandra will lead us in singing the national anthem, and Bobby Hoss will introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests.
I invite you to pray with me. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for this beautiful weather. Lord, we ask that you would bless us as we join together for this Rotary meeting. We thank you for the nourishment of this food and the hands that prepared it. Lord, help us to serve our community well, that we would be your hands and feet here in this place. As those around us continue to suffer from the effects of COVID-19, may we step up and help those who are in need. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Dr. Parr.
Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Stars sparkle the flag. Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who shines and bright stars through the perilous night? On the ramparts we watch, who so gallantly stream from the rocket's red glare down through the sea. They proved the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of glory and the home of God.
Well done. Yeah, play ball. Thank you for that, Neil. Well, Bobby Hoss, you introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests. Come on up so you can be at the microphone here.
We are glad to have Jay Mooser from guest of John Van Buren. Okay.
John, introduce your guest to us. John, introduce him.
This is a guest. Notice I didn't say friend. Actually, his name is Jay Buster. We're glad to have him here.
Welcome, Jay.
We also have Aaron Alsop, and representing the school district is Nicole Marcel.
Nicole, would you like to bring any greetings from Superintendent Magna? That's all right. Two more weeks. All right. Good. Thank you. Any other visiting Rotarians and guests? All right. Well, let's give everybody a warm welcome.
All those are familiar faces.
Yes, looking on Zoom there. Looks like we have Doreen on the beach again. And Chris Dobson, Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Bob, Josh, Robert, how are you? Don. And there's past President Rick Lindsay and Randy Hubbard. And I guess those others are actually present in the room there. So welcome to everybody. We're glad you're here.
Who's the guy at the bottom? Who's that?
You know,
You know that?
I know that guy. Well, a couple of quick announcements for everybody on Zoom and those in the room. Just want to remind you that on October 22nd, I need you to put that on your calendar, the district governor is going to be here that day. So as best we can, I'd like to have 100% attendance either in the room or on Zoom. So some of you that are on Zoom, we'd love for you to be here that day. We're also going to have a board meeting with the district governor at 10:30 that day. He wants all of our current board members to meet, so we will do that by Zoom and in person. So those of you that are comfortable coming in person, we'll be meeting at 10:30 that day. And those of you who want to be on Zoom, it'll be the same link. That meeting will end about 11:30, 11:45, and then we'll go right into our club meeting that day. So that's October 22nd. Please put that on your calendar. Bill Labar, come on up. Bill's got an announcement for us, and good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so earlier this week, Bob Bourgeois and I had been in conversation, and he told me that there were additional flags that needed to be deconstructed at the shed. So I went yesterday and deconstructed about 20. And we also, knowing what we want to do with the program next year, have talked about we need to be proactive towards building flags. We all know that with the COVID thing, we were kind of caught off guard, and a lot of people didn't renew their subscriptions, but that won't happen this next year. So we're going to start building flags this Saturday, 7:30 to 8:30, 1 hour. We should be able to build about 50 flags in 1 hour. That's normally about what we can do if we get enough people there. But he and I have talked, and I just want you to know that of course, after this Labor Day and 9/11 and after Armistice Day, we'll need to do some more cleaning up of flags. But we're going to build flags to build up a reserve. And we're going to do it on nice days through the winter, so that we don't get caught having to go down in May and scrambling trying to build a whole bunch of flags. So I just want you to know that's going to be coming up. But this Saturday we'll be building flags, 7:30 to 8:30. I promise I'll get you out of there at 8:30, and we're going to build at least 50. Okay? Any questions? Any questions about the strategy? Ask Bob.
Ask Bob. All right. You get
Okay.
applause there. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks to all of you that have come out before to build flags. We can build 50 flags in less than 50 minutes if we get enough hands there. So if you're able to come for about an hour, last time Mara Gass brought some breakfast sandwiches and I brought some cinnamon rolls. So we'll feed you if you'll show up. So see Bill and let him know that you're coming that day. Well, our program for today, I found out about 10 o'clock this morning, was ill. And so I worked to pull together a program. September emphasis from Rotary International is basic education and literacy. So we're going to have a short video on basic education and literacy. And then we're going to go right into something that all of us missed this year. And that is, if you had kids in school or kids graduating from college, most schools did not have a commencement address. And so I found a really, really good commencement address by Denzel Washington. It's about 10 minutes long, and it's on education and literacy. So since that's the emphasis, we're going to have that, and then we'll probably get you out a few minutes early. So Jordan, are we ready for the first video? So those of you online, you'll be able to watch it as well. Enjoy this, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
A single act of good can go a long way. It can cross oceans, cure disease, and create equality. As members of Rotary, we are people of action, and our actions have the power to speak loud and clear. Our vision and commitment to finding solutions keeps us connected to those who need it most. changing lives and creating opportunities with our groundbreaking work in education and literacy. There are more kids enrolled in school now than at any other point in human history, which is why supporting teachers is key. In classrooms, our innovative approach creates critical thinkers and big dreamers with the skills to achieve. Our global grants train teachers to use materials, new methods, and technology to inspire and energize students of all ages. We believe education has the power to lift families up, make real change, modify behavior, create healthy habits, and open minds. We believe that education creates security and safety in families so they can support, provide, and make informed, empowered decisions. Your contribution keeps students far and wide connected to a world of good. Every donation is an action that speaks volumes across classrooms, communities, and continents. Because the distance between an act of good and the lives it touches isn't as vast as you might imagine. Learn how you can support the cause that means the most to you.
All right, for those of you online, I think you can hear me now. We're trying to adjust the video so we can hear it here and you can hear it online, so give us just a moment. Thank you.
It can cross oceans, cure disease, and create equality. As members of Rotary, we are people of action, and our actions have the power to speak loud and clear. Our vision and commitment to finding solutions keeps us connected to those who need it most, changing lives and creating opportunities. We believe that education creates security and safety in families so they can far and wide connected to a world of good. A single act of good can go a long way. It can cross oceans, cure disease, and create equality. As members of Rotary, we are people of action, and our actions have the power to speak loud and clear. Our vision and commitment to finding solutions keeps us connected to those who need it most, changing lives and creating opportunities with our groundbreaking work in education and literacy. There are more kids enrolled in school now than at any other point in human history, which is why supporting teachers is key. In classrooms, our innovative approach creates critical thinkers and big dreamers with the skills to achieve. Our global grants train teachers to use materials, new methods, and technology to inspire and energize students of all ages. We believe education has the power to lift families up, make real change, modify behavior, create healthy habits, and open minds. We believe that education creates security and safety in families so they can support, provide, and make informed, empowered decisions. Your contribution keeps students far and wide connected to a world of good. Every donation is an action that speaks volumes across classrooms, communities, and continents. Because the distance between an act of good and the lives it touches isn't as vast as you might imagine. Learn how you can support the cause that means the most to you.
All right. So, coming out of both speakers. Rotary's got a great emphasis on basic education and literacy, and that just gave us a little bit of understanding. That is the focus of Rotary International for the month of September. There's also matching grant money from Rotary for any contribution our club would like to make. So I felt like we haven't done anything with our bucket money in the COVID era, and so I thought we would take our bucket funds money and make a contribution to the basic literacy and education, probably between now and October. In other words, we'll let that be our contribution to our district governor, John Mosier, when he comes. So if you want to give anything extra this month towards that, we'll announce that when the governor is here. Well, we've got another great video. It's going to run about 10 minutes. And so hopefully we'll get that queued up and you can enjoy that. Hope everybody online was able to hear that as well. And it's like Ed McCarty's joined us now. Ed, how are you? And see if anybody else has jumped on there. Glad everybody's online. The screen is full this morning. But let's go right on to our next speaker, Denzel Washington, giving it a commencement address. You'll enjoy this. Go ahead, Jordan.
I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror. And every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. First of all, she said, "Somebody give me a piece of paper. Give me a piece of paper." She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it, I couldn't say it, I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Fail big. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought. So I'm in the wings. I'm about to go on stage, but the guy in front of me, he's singing like Pavarotti, and I'm just shrinking. I'm getting smaller and smaller. So they say, "Oh, thank you very much, and you'll be hearing from us." So I come out with my little sheet music, and so I assumed I didn't get the job. But the next part of the audition, he called me back. The next part of the audition is the acting part of the audition. Now I'm like, hey, okay, maybe I can't sing, but I know I can act. So they pair me with this guy, and again, I didn't know about musical theater. And musical theater is big, so they can reach everyone all the way in the back of the stadium. And I'm more from a realistic, naturalistic kind of acting where you actually talk to the person next to you. So I don't know what my line was. My line was, "Well, hand me the cup." And his line was, "Well, I will hand you the cup, my dear. The cup will be there to be handed to you." I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed, and I prayed. But I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. Someone talked about it. Won the Tony Award. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. Keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Without commitment, you'll never start, but more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be no Kerry Washington. If it was easy, there'd be no Taraji Henson, P. Henson. If it were easy, there'd be no Octavia Spencer. But not only that, if it were easy, there'd be no Viola Davis. If it were easy, there'd be no Michael T. Williamson, no Stephen McKinley Henderson, no Russell Hornsby. If it were easy, there'd be no Denzel Washington. So, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. Don't confuse movement with progress. Remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors, some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists. Some of you have money, some of you have patience, some of you have kindness, some of you have love, some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? And it's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is help someone else. Why is it selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
Well, I know as Rotary members, we aspire to make a difference. We understand that things aren't always easy. And I know that in a COVID era, it's a lot easy for many people just to sit on the sideline and wait things out. And I'm glad that Rotary's on the forefront of getting things done. And Rotarians are on the forefront of making things better. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're fixing things, because there's some things we can't fix, but we are making a difference. And so if you missed your commencement address this year, if you've never been to an Ivy League school commencement address, that was University of Pennsylvania, if you didn't notice, well, you've been to an Ivy League commencement address. And I just challenge all of us, we don't necessarily know what the next coming months are going to be, and you get a lot of news reports that says there may be another round of COVID. I don't know if there is or not, but I do know that there's things we can do to make a difference as Rotarians. And I know there are people that are dependent upon us to do those things. So Chief, we're thankful for you and the police department and the men you had here a couple of weeks ago. We want to just express our gratitude because we haven't seen you a lot because you've been busy. And so, not that you're not busy today, we just want to acknowledge the fact that we're grateful for all that you and the police, the fire department, and the other front line personnel are doing, our medical personnel. But as we go into the fall, our kids are in school, people are anticipating, the weather is changing, we're hoping that things will be different, and maybe they will be, but we still have things that this community is waiting for each of us to do. And so I just challenge you to stay focused, stay engaged. Welcome back, those of you that are on Zoom. I see Max is there. Max, good to see you. Welcome back from Seattle. And how's that grandbaby doing? Thumbs up? Yeah? All right. So we're going to do everything we can in the coming months to, again, have some unique programs. Our program chairperson has stepped down, so I'm going to be calling upon some of you to help me with programs. We're going to try to fill the schedule. So if you heard of a good program or you know somebody that would be a good program, you pass that information along to me. We're going to try to get our programs filled out between now and December, really before the 1st of October. So in the next 3 weeks, I expect to fill the rest of that schedule. So you can help me with that. And if you have an interest in serving on that program committee, we'd appreciate it. All right, Bill LaBar, what time are we meeting for flags on Saturday? Saturday morning. That's this Saturday. This Saturday. September 12th.
Yes.
7:30.
And I just want you to know,
Yes.
since I've come back, I'm amazed at how you guys do the Zoom meeting and the regular meeting. This technology is beyond me, and this place is not set up for it, and you guys do a good job.
Yes. Thank you, Jordan. I mentioned a few weeks ago, and some of you may not be aware, that our club and Jordan has specifically won a social media award for the entire district. And they've actually asked Jordan to serve on a media and social media committee for the entire district because other clubs are having difficulty doing what we're doing. So tell Jordan thank you before you leave the room. Well, if you'll stand with me, we're going to let you out a little bit early. So it's, you know, it's great when you come. We have a special program and you get to leave early, all right? So our four-way test, sir.
Yeah, you almost threw me a curve. I'm retired. I don't know what date it is. So I'm going to channel my inner Ken Lancaster. Let's join in the four-way test of the things that we think, say, and do. Number one.
Is it true?
Number two.
Is it fair to all?
Number three.
Build goodwill and better friendships.
Number four.
Before we adjourn, one moment. Melissa came in while we were having our program, so I was going to have Kathy introduce her. So would you say something to the club about Melissa, and then we want to thank her for all she's doing to help us. So Melissa, we thank you. You're welcome to attend our meetings as often as you're able to as a guest of the club, and we're grateful for all you do with the flag program and coordinating with the scouts to make sure the flags go out. I don't know that I gave you a number last week, but the most recent number I have is 1,368 flags. Does that sound right, Kathy? Lindy's running up here. Over 1,500. She's bringing me the number. All right. Hang on just a moment. I know that you're on the edge of your seats wanting to know how many flags we have out. And so 1,369 paid, 609 pending, and we brought in so far $63,798. And a portion of that goes to help the scouts and some of the churches, but a large portion of that is what we use to benefit those in this community that have needs. So we thank you for that. I think we've already had our four-way test. So good job there. Past President Don George, will you come up and ring the gavel and dismiss us today, all right?
When the gavel strikes the bell, you are dismissed.
Whoa, all right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks to all of you on Zoom that joined us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.